Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Pillar to Post, and yes, we are live here on YouTube.com. Now, tonight, as you all know, was Backlash. For the most part, there were some things I didn't really much care for. I'm going to go off on the tag team title match. To me, downright pathetic match. I don't care what anyone else has to say. If they enjoyed this match, you are a fool. You had SmackDown show you just how important these tag team matches are for SmackDown Live. They made it into one big fucking joke. And frankly, that disgusts me. I am a huge fan of tag team wrestling, and that was just one big joke. SmackDown has let the fans down when it comes to tag team wrestling. It means nothing to them. It was just one big fucking joke. And thankfully, that joke didn't continue any further by allowing BREEZANGO or the Fashion Police to win it, because if that would have happened, I would have switched off my goddamn television right there. It was pathetic. The Shinsuke Nakamura Ziggler match didn't quite live up to my expectations. I expected them to blow the roof off. That didn't happen. It was still a solid match, but it just wasn't what I was expecting. I was expecting a lot more from what I've seen from Shinsuke Nakamura. But it is what it is. The 6-woman tag team match, garbage. Garbage. I didn't like it one bit. Didn't enjoy it. You had a lot of shit going on the show that really didn't make sense. The Luke Harper and Erick Rowan match. The fans were completely dead. Dead. Like, what the hell was going on? Were they tired out by the time that this match took place? I don't know. But they sure livened up when the main event came around. It just did not make sense to me. Chicago, for the most part, was alive. And before we get into the results and everything, I should talk about my sponsors. So today's podcast is brought to you by Audible. Get a free audiobook download and 30-day free trial at www.audibletrial.com/pillar to post. There is over 180,000 titles to choose from for your iPhone, Android, Kindle, or MP3 player. There are, if you're into wrestling autobiographies, there is a shitload. They have AJ Lee's new one. They have Justin Roberts' new one, I believe. If you like children's book, there's a Mick Foley children's book out there for you. There's other children's book. There is so much available at audible.com. So please, check the link out below and do take advantage of this deal. Now, the pre-show, actually, just give me a second here. I should probably share the link out so that way we get some more viewers in here. Because, frankly, it needs to be done. And then we'll move on a little bit. Now, I'm not one for dead air, so I'll try and continue talking while I'm doing this. I'm going to talk about the tag team match. It was, to me, just downright disgusting. I did not care for it one bit. I didn't laugh at it. I didn't joke about it. I didn't even try to make sense of it, because in the end, it was total garbage. It showed how much SmackDown just doesn't give a shit about their tag team division. I expected so much freaking more. And to see them just make that division into a complete joke. Like, I am a full-blown tag team fan. I do. I was brought up in an era where tag teams were more important than singles wrestlers. And to see them downplay it and make it into a joke like they did tonight, there was no excuse for it. Absolutely no fucking excuse. Now, yes, I am smoking while I'm on air. I do apologize. But I wasn't going to just stop the stream just so I could have a friggin' smoke. There, I butted it out for you, and now we should start off with the kickoff show. So we had one match. It was Ty Dillinger versus Aiden English. We clearly knew who was going to win this. Ty Dillinger did defeat Aiden English. And how's it going, Heavyweight Mark? I hope you can bring in some more viewers in here. But I do appreciate that you're here. So we got a little bit of a heel promo tearing apart his hometown of Chicago. That was English. And he got off to a hot start in the ring. Dillinger rallied with a 10 count of punches in the corner, but missed a splash off the top rope. After English could only get a count of 2 following a suplex, he continued his character's recent trend of bawling like a bitch. Dillinger then hit his tiebreaker finisher to get the pin. It was a decent match, but the fans seemed to give it more energy than it actually deserved, quite honestly. I'm a big Ty Dillinger fan. It's just, this match didn't deserve as much hype as they gave it. Now, I know it was the first match they seen of the night. They were all crazy still. They're just entering the arena. They see Ty Dillinger. And it could have been so much more, yet it wasn't. But we had the fans cheering like it was this phenomenal match that took place. And in my eyes, it was a so-so match. It was an opening match that could have done better. Now, if I'm going to be on a pre-show, I'm going to try and make sure that it is the best match I can have to prove that I deserve to be on the main pay-per-view card. Not just half-ass it and do the thing I'm told to do and then just, there we go, that's it. Not my way of doing a match. I know they are under strict orders and everything, but please, give me a fucking break. If I'm going to be put on the main, on the pre-card, or the pre-show card, I'm going to fucking give the fans a reason to cheer. Chicago cheered for absolutely no reason for the Ty Dillinger match, and it was an average match. Just a regular average match that we could have seen any SmackDown Live of the week. Up next, we had the opening match for the Backlash pay-per-view, and I want to give a quick shout-out to Scrooge McDuck. How's it going, guys? Heavyweight Mark, I know you whooped my ass in the predictions. Maybe we have some kind of penalty on Shooting from the Hip this week for that. No dresses. No dresses. But like I said, the opening match of tonight's Backlash was Shinsuke Nakamura versus Dolph Ziggler. Another match I thought was going to be a lot better than it was. Shinsuke Nakamura did go over like we suspected he would. But for most of the match, it was kind of a laid-back match. I expected a lot more excitement, a lot more impactful maneuvers going on, and it didn't quite deliver in my eyes. Now, I am probably being too skeptical, too analytical about it, but they've hyped this match up. They've hyped up Shinsuke Nakamura debuting on Backlash for how many weeks now? We finally get it, and it was a slightly above average match. Now, like I said, it was Nakamura's long-awaited main roster debut, largely proved worth the wait. For some people, the fans really enjoyed it. It wasn't an instant classic, but with a hot crowd praising his every move, Nakamura did show good chemistry opposite Ziggler and set a nice foundation to where this feud can go. Yeah, of course you thought it was great. You'd fucking lick the sweat off of Nakamura's balls, Heavyweight Mark. The match featured a strong mix of varying styles, including some amateur wrestling as well as some MMA-style striking on behalf of Shinsuke Nakamura. In between, Ziggler went on a run for a near finish with a series of... fucked up my own notes. Ziggler went on a run of near falls connecting with his famouser as well as the zigzag. In the end, Nakamura rallied back from a super kick to the back of his head and set Ziggler up for his finish with a series of knees to the midsection. Next came his trademark finisher, the Kinshasa, for the pin. Like I said, above average. I would have probably put... If I'm going to grade this, I'm going to probably give it a 6-7 stars out of 10. If I'm doing the 10 scale, if I were to grade it, I'd probably give it a B. I'd say a B minus. I'm not going to give it a B plus. I'm not going to even give it a B. Just a B minus. That's what I would give it. It didn't live up to the hype. That's all I'm saying. Did not live up to the hype. And heavyweight Mark, if you got a problem with it, you can always get down on your knees, lick the sweat off of my bag. Yes, he is my co-host, people. I can downgrade him if I please. B minus is fair, Scrooge McDuck says, and I do agree with him very much. SmackDown Tag Team Championship match was up next, and like I said, total fucking garbage. If you're into the comedy, fine. You enjoyed this match. If you were looking for a legit tag team match that looked impressive, that went all the way and brought these tag teams up to an elevation where we can respect them as tag teams, this was not the match for you. I am, like I said, a huge tag team fan, and to see a match like this, perform like this, total fucking garbage. They made it into, the whole division was made into a fucking joke. Now, I expected BREEZANGO, if you want to call them that, or the Fashion Police to come out and actually give it a good effort. Make it into a top quality match. This was their first and very long awaited shot at the titles. And we got, what's his name? Tyler Breeze, dressing up like an old lady, dressing up like a fucking janitor, and being a fucking goof. And I'm supposed to sit there, watch this pay-per-view, and respect them as wrestlers. Yeah, you can respect them as entertainers. Yeah, if you thought it was funny. Of course you love the fucking match. What the fuck is wrong with you, Heavyweight Mark? Really, what is wrong with you? But you like the comedy bit. I understand that. Like I said, if you enjoyed the comedy, fine. You know, it was a match for you. If you wanted something that would elevate the tag team division for a change, it was total garbage. Now, the Usos did retain their title. Now, it wasn't, there was some high flying, there was some physical match, parts of the match. It was painfully silly, okay? You know, it was a painfully silly comedy. Tyler Breeze reprised the janitor costume, like I said, he wore on Fashion Files this week and took a beating for his troubles, along with having his mop snapped in half. You know what? This pay-per-view, I'm starting to wonder where I would grade SmackDown Live their heavyweight mark. Now, you return to the apron dressed as an elderly woman using a cane. After a series of believable near falls raised the intensity, the Usos threw Breeze over the ringside barrier to set up one of the best spots of the match, a perfect tope con hilo from Fandango outside the ring. Yes, I can go that way, Heavyweight Mark. But after Fandango climbed to the top rope, he was tripped by one Uso and instantly ate a super kick to the face, and the other set up for the pin. If you're into comedy, I'm going to be nice. For comedy's sake, I'd give it a C+. If you were looking for a competitive tag team match that took you to the brink and to the edge of your seat, this definitely was not your match. I would give it a fucking F. Because this match pissed me off when it came to elevating the tag team division. I don't care if you agree with me or not, this was a joke. And this made their tag team division into a huge joke. One of the most impressive matches of the night, Sami Zayn versus Baron Corbin. And once again, my prediction was very wrong. Sami Zayn would defeat Baron Corbin after a very hard-fought match. This match was all about showing the heart and tenacity of Sami Zayn. It showed how big of an underdog he is and that he will never stop fighting and coming back to get and prove to the world who he is. Now, like I said, very, very hard-fought match. Now, he's been booked consistently in recent months as a jobber to the stars. Zayn pulled off a much-needed upset win. The gutsy way in which he clinched it was consistent with his character, relying on heart and an ability to shake off punishment. And punishment he received tonight. Now, Zayn kicked out of a late Deep Six attempt to keep fighting. He then caught a running Corbin with a boot to the face in the center of the ring, followed that up with a haluva kick, and got the pin. I'm going to say this is one of the better matches of the night. Now, you might not agree with me, and as you can tell, I'm not going too far into detail with the matches. I basically sat myself down and talked to myself. And it's very lucky that I have little people in my mind that can, make it look a little bit better than just looking like a crazy man. But I basically sat down and I decided I'm not going to jot down notes of every high spot, every little detail that's going to happen in the match, because that way I don't enjoy watching the show. And so I write down enough to basically let you know how the match broke down. That's about how I'm going. I used to go and try and get as much detail in as possible to try and make the shows longer and make it seem like you're sitting there. It's hard to do at the same time as trying to enjoy the match. Now, the Sami Zayn versus Baron Corbin match, for the most part, Sami Zayn took a huge beating, and he even looked like he was hurting pretty good at the end of the match. I'm going to bill this as a A- match, just because I love the way Sami Zayn was built up, and he finally got his revenge. He finally was able to prove he can hang with the big boys. I was actually impressed that WWE went to that point and trusted him enough to take the win over Corbin, because now he looks like he's a legit contender for either the U.S. title or maybe main event material. And I like that because I enjoy Sami Zayn's style. I love his heart. His promos, a little bit hard to bear with, but all in all, he is a great character for SmackDown Live. Yes, we both botched that prediction. I know, heavyweight. Now, backstage, we had Jinder Mahal arrive. And I kind of made a joke with my daughter about this. We were sitting there together watching this, and the Singh boys carry out this nice, Parisian carpet, and they lay it down in front of the rear door of the limo. And I looked at my daughter and I said, now we've got Aladdin and his flying fucking carpet, for fuck's sakes. So we had a good laugh about it, but I was kind of wondering why they went that far with it, but it was a nice laugh. Now, like I said, he pulled up backstage. The Singh boys departed in the SUV and pulled out a rug, placing it by the door to the limo. Mahal stepped out in a finely tailored suit, as always, and cut a promo on Chicago and the WWE Universe in what was obviously a pre-taped promo, saying he will turn haters into believers. He said he is going to take that hatred and turn it into something positive, spiritual, and almost holy. He went on to say, I am truly a peaceful man, but once I become provoked, I become an animal. Excuse me. That was his promo, basically. Now, I do like it. I do like the way he's working. I don't like the racial bit that they brought in with his character. I would rather, now that he has become the champion, I would rather have him turn on his own country and say, look it, I wear these expensive clothes. I am the WWE champion. I don't need anyone anymore. Drop the racial slurs. Drop the whole gimmick. And become just basically a rich prick. That's what I'd rather see than mixing the racial bullshit in with this gimmick. That is my opinion. Now, the Welcoming Committee versus Becky Lynch, Naomi, and Charlotte Flair. Another match I did not care for because I've seen this match going a different way. I would have rather have seen Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair tag up versus, let's see, what's her face? Snuka and Carmella in a tag team match. And then I would have rather had seen Naomi facing Natalya for the WWE SmackDown's women's title. That is what I would rather have seen because they are supposed to be elevating their women's division and not just clumping them into one fucking match. And there you go. You have your women's match of the night. Shut the fuck up. No, I want to see these women be competitive. Defend that title at every pay-per-view because that is what should be done. Yes, thank you, Tamina. Tamina Snuka is the name I was looking for. I even have my notes here and I didn't even write her name down. I just said Welcoming Committee because, it was shorter. Now, the Welcoming Committee succeeded in its attempt to create chaos in the division for SmackDown's top women. What doesn't make sense from a storyline standpoint is why WWE went in this direction in the first place. Burying its top 3 women and moving on from Naomi and Charlotte Flair so quickly. While this 6-woman tag match wasn't too terrible, the inevitable wait for a heel turn or swerve finish never came, leaving an open void that's hard to ignore. Now, after predictable chaos broke out late, with Tamina clearing out Charlotte and Naomi with a super kick and a headbutt, respectively, Natalya forced Lynch to tap out with the sharpshooter. That is the gist of the match. It was a bullshit match. Like I said, it should have been a tag match between Charlotte Flair and Becky Lynch versus Tamina and Carmella. That is the way it should have worked out. And then having the women's title on the line with Natalya versus Naomi. That is what I would have loved to see. That's what should have happened. And it would have made these matches a hell of a lot better and would have made them a lot more sensical. If that's a word. I'm going to rate that a D. Just a plain fucking D match. It's a match we get on fucking almost every Monday night and every fucking Tuesday night. And I'm sick of it. Clearly one of the better matches of the night. It started off a bit slow, but it quickly did pick up. I did love this match. Kevin Owens versus AJ Styles. My prediction was correct. Kevin Owens would retain, and it would be retained through shenanigans. It would be a fuck finish, as they would say, or as I would say. Great match, a lot of intensity, a lot of brute force on Kevin Owens' part, a lot of high flying, a lot of just inspiring maneuvers by AJ Styles. You gotta love the way these two connect in the ring. It is always a phenomenal match. Not to steal a pun from AJ Styles, but it was a phenomenal match. Now, in what had the makings for match of the year consideration after impressive build, WWE used a surprising finish to leave fans wanting more as the feud progresses. For as long as it lasted, Owens and Styles put forth one hell of a physical match featuring a sensational inverted superplex from Owens and a snap suplex from Styles on the ring apron. They also told a great story as Styles fought through an injured right leg that Owens repeatedly targeted. Late in the match, Styles responded to being thrown into the timekeeper area by emerging with a phenomenal forearm. But after setting up Owens on the announce table for a Styles clash, Styles tripped as Owens rolled away, getting his leg caught in a hole on the table that houses a monitor. Now Styles was counted out as he hung by his leg from the table upside down. Owens delivered a super kick after the match was declared a countout, and to the back of Styles' head, messing up my own fucking notes here, but so what? I'm gonna say this was one of the best matches of the night. I give it a A. Great chemistry between these two. These two have gone around the world fighting each other, wrestling each other. It has always been entertaining. If you have ever caught any of their matches outside of the WWE, this match might not have stacked up to their former matches, but it was still a great match to watch. It kept you guessing as to what was going to happen. And in the end, Kevin Owens retains his U.S. title. He is still the United States champion and the face of America. Another kind of bullshit gimmick I don't like on him. I think he could do so much better if he went back to being just an asshole. You know, he doesn't need to go on the Canada thing or, you know, I'm from Canada now, you know, I'm the new face of America. I don't like seeing that. I really don't. It's 2017. The racial slurs and the racial storylines can kind of be, you know, just left off the fucking show. Up next, I was a little bit surprised with this match. The fans were not into this match at all. It was very quiet until the very end, and this was the Luke Harper versus Erick Rowan match. I didn't understand why it needed to be done. Is CM Punk gonna come? There is rumors that he was offered $1 million to enter a huge tournament for what's the company called? Hell, I can't remember what the promotion was called. But as far as I know, he has not responded to it, and if he has, it probably was a no. I don't think CM Punk was at either NXT or Backlash. They never showed him, at least on television. The Luke Harper and Erick Rowan match, basically two big men brawling, and Erick Rowan controlled the match for the very most part. You've seen a lot of impressive moves from Erick Rowan. I did not believe that he could do a drop kick that would reach Luke Harper's chin, but he actually managed to pull it off. We've seen him deliver a huge power bomb as well. I don't know what the hell was wrong with the fans. I expected a lot more from them. There was a lot of physicality in this match, and yet the fans were just kind of laid back, sipping on their pop, their beer, eating popcorn, and that was about it. You know, Rowan made a pair of creepy appearances during the kickoff show at the announce desk, continued to put over his bag of masks, and even set one down in the corner as a source of inspiration. Now, Harper ultimately went over thanks to a pair of super kicks and a discus clothesline that didn't quite end up being a discus clothesline. It looked like more of a discus elbow to the chest. So it was a flub on his part, but botches are meant. Because of the crowd interaction was lacking, for the most part, this was a very physical match. It wasn't a bad match, but I just couldn't get into it because the fans weren't there for it either. So I grade this as a C+. C+ match. I think it could have been better if the fans were a little bit more interactive with the match itself, but it didn't happen. I'm a fan of two big guys just whooping the piss out of each other. That, you know, it looks good. Finally, the main event of the night. Pretty damn good match. I have to say, I give credit to both Orton and Jinder Mahal. Now, we've seen the basic usual stuff when it comes to Randy Orton. He's always going to go back to the same old, same old. But my problem with him during this match, you could see he was not selling the moves. He was getting repeatedly kneed in the stomach, and he just stood there like if nothing happened. I am very happy Jinder Mahal took the title. I am. He actually is showing passion. He's showing rage. He's showing a lot of emotions. And basically, I was starting to get nervous during this match. I did pick Orton to win the match because I figured that's the direction WWE would go. But my feelings were that the Maharaja needed this win, and he should win it because he's showing that he's got heart, he's got character, he's got intensity. And we're not seeing that from Randy Orton at all. We've seen it a little bit. He got frustrated with the Singh brothers, and he attacked them twice. Now, the way he threw these boys onto the announce tables looked fucking disgusting. It didn't look like he was paying attention to the way he was throwing them. Both of them landed on top of their fucking heads, for one. Now, I don't know if that was intentional, but if you watch any replays, you'll see him kind of cringing as he's walking away. So he knows he fucked up, but he continued to go on the attack anyway. Took his mind off of Jinder Mahal. Jinder Mahal, you could see while you're watching, he was scooting around the corner of the ring. Came up from behind as Randy Orton was delivering the, what do you call it, the Hangman DDT off the middle rope. And he hooked in the Colossa and slammed Orton down, picked up the win. I want to say that it is great that we finally got saved by the boring, non-selling, bland Randy Orton. Because, frankly, I didn't see him as champion anymore. They're always trying to give the older guys the title reign, blah, blah, blah. It's tiresome, especially when it's rinse and repeat. And if you've listened to one Randy Orton promo, you have heard every single promo he's ever cutting. So I'm very happy that Jinder Mahal took the win. And if you were watching, you would have heard that the crowd had a mixed reaction. You had the fans cheering for Jinder, also booing Jinder for the win. And even during the match itself, it was a split decision. Let's go Jinder. Jinder sucks. It was kind of like a John Cena chant of the night. But it was a good match. It was a solid match. The way I thought of it, though, was Jinder was there to make Randy Orton look good. Because if you looked at all the moves done, Randy Orton was allowed to apply the majority of the best moves. Jinder was there basically to do holds and locks, and that was about it. There was a few, that he was allowed to do some knees, some punches, some clotheslines, but all in all, he was doing submission moves during almost the whole match. Randy Orton was being made to look good by doing all these moves that he's known to do, so I was actually impressed that they actually allowed Jinder Mahal to capture the title. Now, I want to make a couple announcements. Since we're near the end of, we're at the end of the pay-per-view results and my report. So, tomorrow I'm going to be doing Monday Night Raw. I'm going to be covering some news as well from the wrestling world because I have kind of missed out on a few days because of the excessive amount of wrestling that's going on right at the moment, as well as the surgery I had on Tuesday this week. So I didn't bring you any of the news. So I'm going to make sure I bring you some news tomorrow, as well as covering Monday Night Raw. And Tuesday the same, as well as NXT. And I want to make sure that I start using Patreon again as well. So if you want to check out my Patreon, it is in the description below. So make sure you check out all the links that I have there. You can find merchandise for Pillar to Post. There is even merchandise if you pledge to my Patreon. So make sure you check all those links out. Also, this Thursday, Heavyweight Mark, as well as myself, will be doing the Shooting from the Hip live. Now, I'm not sure if it's going to be audio podcast or if we're going to be able to do any visuals. This stream seemed to be working good. It finally got my settings right. I hope the sound's right. I hope the video's been perfect for you. Please let me know in the live chat, if you will, if there's been any fuck-ups, because today I really went through all the settings. It's been a bitch. Also this week, I am going to be working in my basement, starting to build the studio down there, so that way I have a better scenery in the background instead of my washing machine and all those jugs of laundry wash that you see. So this is Pete Wall. You've been watching Pillar to Post. Thank you for joining me on the live stream. Expect more. I'm planning on doing a hell of a lot more live streams because I don't want to always do the recordings. I would rather sit here and try and be interactive with you guys. And, oh yes, doing a Backlash Fallout show tomorrow as well. So I'll be doing that with Heavyweight Mark. It's another thing you can tune into. But this is Pete Wall calling it a night. Thank you for joining me. And, hell, Mark, while you're on, or I should say Red, since you're on, what time are we doing the Fallout show? Come on, I'm waiting for you. You're faster than this. Actually, you know what? Noon? Noon sounds good. I'll be up then. You want to join me on here for a bit? Maybe we do a little bit of a longer podcast. I've only been going for 36 minutes. Maybe get your reactions. So you want to come online here, Red? Oh, Red, you're not answering. Sure, okay. No, don't go on Skype. Go on Facebook, buddy. I'm going to call you on Facebook. So I'm going to give Red a little bit of a ring here. Just bear with me for just a moment while I call him and he accepts the call. Mr. Red, how you doing?
Hello.
How you doing, buddy?
Doing all right.
I'm just checking the stream now. Everything seems to be working great on the live stream. Was there any hiccups while you were watching?
Not at all. You look better than you have in a while.
Oh, why, thank you.
But like you've recovered from your penis enlargement.
Yeah, you know, it's a struggle, but now we've been trying to do these live shows for a while now, and it's been glitch after glitch after glitch. So nothing went wrong. There was no hiccups during the stream at all that you could notice.
Nope.
No,
nothing at all. I did. I want to go over this real quick. I loved Shinsuke Nakamura versus Dolph Ziggler. I mean, Shawn Michaels Jr.
Just a quick, Scrooge McDuck, can you hear Red speaking? Just so that way I know for sure.
I can hear me speaking in your feed.
Okay. Well, I've got the fucking mic way far away from there, so it shouldn't be... I'll turn down my... Oh, yeah, he can hear you. That's good. Now, I'm going to turn down my TV a bit here, so that way you're not covering over so much. What did you... So you thought it was a great match between Shinsuke and Dolph Ziggler?
I absolutely loved it, but I do think that Tom Phillips needs a lesson in anatomy of the human body, in
True.
all honesty, because if you look at it from my point of view, he said that he gave him a super kick to the back of the neck, and then they showed the replay, and he said back of the neck once again, but you could obviously see he kicked him in the head.
Yeah, I know. But I just went with it and just called it the way they called it, and.
Gotcha. I was so
But
I was absolutely bewildered for like 2 minutes while they showed the same thing they had on SmackDown with Tyler Breeze with the,
I know it was
everything. I was like, what is this? And I was like, did they play the wrong promo? Because that's what it seemed like to NXT. They were playing the wrong promo. And then he came out and he was dressed up with the mop and everything.
Yep.
And from my opinion, this is a shot at Kenny Omega.
A little bit. I seen that in it, but I was very disappointed because it was their first shot that they have gotten in how long? They've been used as jobbers.
I really thought they were going to win the title tonight.
But to have them make it into one big joke, that was a disappointment. Now, I know you like the comedy aspect of it.
I got to tell you, I was laughing my ass off like I haven't laughed since I've seen Eugene.
I wanted to throw something at my television, honestly. I really did.
Well, I'm glad you didn't, because then you need a new TV.
No shit. Well, I would have had to take the one out of the back room that I'm using for my computer.
Oh, God, that would have been horrible.
But all in all, like, it wasn't even a long enough match to be respectable for a tag team title match as well. You know,
it was funny, I thought.
I didn't want funny. I wanted intensity for a change. That's what I was looking forward to.
The thing you're not getting though, like there's absolutely nothing to ever do with the Fashion Police is ever going to be serious, and they just did their bit. You know, it's like trying to think of a name here. It's like the Job Squad back in the day. You never took them seriously.
No, well,
but people still like them. I liked them. I had a Job Squad shirt. I thought it was awesome. I was like, this is definitely an NWO ripoff, and it's trying to be funny with it, but you know. See,
my problem with it. Look at how they brought Fandango in when he first debuted on Raw, that way back. I'm going like his debut match. I
remember.
He went over on Chris Jericho. He beat and pinned Jericho clean. And since then, he's been used as a joke. And
I care about Jericho.
And on top of that, they team him with a Tyler Breeze, who is a phenomenal wrestler in his own right. And
did you see that last year there was a match with Tyler Breeze when he was still in NXT against Jushin Thunder Liger? Did you see that?
No, I missed that one.
Well, you need to go online and watch it because it's amazing.
Well, that's what I mean.
You've got. I started marking out for Tyler Breeze, but since they brought him to the main roster, he's just been comedy relief.
See, this
doesn't piss me off. It's just a change in gimmick.
This is what's upsetting me about them. They are two phenomenal wrestlers, two phenomenal athletes, and they're being used for comedy relief. That's what disappoints me about it. I don't care if there's comedy in wrestling, okay? But there is a time and place for it. There's a time and place like in the promo segments, okay? They want to do that, fine. But when it's time to wrestle, you know, give us a wrestling match. Don't give us
I understand what you're saying.
Don't give us some gimmicky bullshit that basically makes the tag team division look worse than it already is. And they need to seriously think about building up their tag team division. And yet you've got two big guys like Erick Rowan and Luke Harper that they could use.
Was filler, man.
It was.
You might as well. Every single pay-per-view they do, the match before the main event is filler, so people go to the bathroom, people go get something to eat, they sell more fucking snacks.
Yep.
It's all to bring up concession, and it's all about money, and it fucking blows, and there's nothing you can really do about it.
No.
They're just going to do whatever they think they can do to make money.
But these two guys...
Unfortunately, that screws us, the fans.
Yeah.
But for them, they're trying to keep afloat. They keep saying, oh, we're the best we've ever been, blah, blah, blah. Their fucking ratings are down so fucking low. They're lower than 1995 at this point. See, I know we'd say 1995 is the worst year for WWE, but I think we might be in it right now.
Well, they've got two big guys in Luke Harper and Erick Rowan that are a legit tag team. They already proved themselves as a tag team. And because they have the Wyatt split up, you know, so what? Keep these guys together. You need to build your tag team division to begin with. So keep these guys together and make your tag team division look good. And these guys would be your legit tag team champions. Because, frankly, look at what the Usos have been doing lately. They haven't been doing fuck all. They got a match tonight, but it was an easy match. It only was like, 5-6 minutes long?
Have you noticed Jay's put on like 35 pounds since WrestleMania?
Yeah, he has. He's been packing on a little bit of weight.
Well, he is Rikishi's son. You know, it is kind of hereditary.
No, weight gain is not hereditary.
Yeah, it is. There's your body type. I learned this in college. There's 6 different body types. And basically, I'm being serious too. Like, there's 6 different body types, how your metabolism works. And it's kind of, I don't know. If you watch almost any Samoan, of the Anak, I can't even say it. Is it Anunnaki or Anaki?
Ananoi.
Ananoi, okay. Any member of the Ananoi family, watch them. They get bigger as they get older.
Yeah, true. It is true.
Every single one of them. It's as soon as they get married, that's it.
Yeah. But what did you think about Mahal gaining that title tonight?
I thought that was awesome. I'm so glad we got rid of the boring Randy Orton.
When we were doing our predictions,
he hasn't been relevant since, like, I don't know, what's his name? I can't even remember if he was Cactus Jack at the time or if he was just Mick Foley. But I don't think Randy Orton has been relevant since he wrestled Mick Foley.
They keep on.
I think 2004 then.
They keep on billing him as being born to greatness because of his father and his grandfather. And the way I look at it, his father and grandfather were both jobbers. They were there. They were there to make others look good.
Keep saying he was in the inaugural main event of WrestleMania.
Yeah.
And that's just,
that's
BS there.
To me, they've kind of stretched that a little bit, Being born to greatness would mean that your father and your grandfather were at the top of the heap when it comes to wrestling, and frankly, that they were not.
Well, the only one that they're going to be able to say that about, that I think, is going to be Charlotte Flair's son or daughter if he ever wrestles.
Yeah.
I don't think there's any other family that you can say that about.
No. But we both predicted that Randy Orton would win. But we both said that
I did not.
Yes, you did.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
I said that Jinder should.
No, we said we both wanted Jinder to win, but WWE would probably WWE would probably have Orton go over because they don't see Mahal as the heavyweight title guy.
Well, in the last 30 days, I was looking. I check Google Trend all the time. In the last 30 days, India, as far as Google searches go, has went up 115%.
Oh, yeah?
Searching for WWE. So I think they're doing what they intended to do.
Yeah. Well, they wanted to hit that mainstream there in India, and that they have done. And it was successful because guaranteed any fans out in India were on their feet when Jinder Mahal took the win tonight.
I was. I literally got up out of my chair.
See, my daughter was upset about it at first, and then it was like, I'm happy because we don't have boring Orton anymore, doing the same promo. But the sad thing is, Mahal will only be a transitional champion. That is a fact.
You think so?
I believe so.
Coffee.
Oh, thank you, beautiful. That was the elusive wife bringing me coffee. She's kind of like Bigfoot, You see her sometimes, but only just a glimpse.
You never see her face ever.
Exactly. No. She actually sat there and watched the show with me tonight, and she wasn't happy through most of it. She kind of livened up a little bit through the AJ Styles Kevin Owens match and Randy Orton and Mahal. But the rest of it, she just wasn't into it.
I got you. You see, I don't know if you've seen your messages before you called me. I sent you a screenshot. That's just somebody I know personally who sent me a message out of the blue. Said, I'd rather watch Pete Wall give his review than watch the pay-per-view.
Oh, really?
It's probably just going to be shit. Yeah, I sent it to you. If you check your messages on Facebook.
Well, I'll have to go do a quick look at... let's see, where are we? Oh. Okay.
Pillar to Post is on already. This is great. I'd rather watch it than the pay-per-view itself. So,
yeah.
In all honesty,
wow, that is...
People think it's boring, too.
That is a nice compliment. I thank whoever sent that to you. Now, like I said, you guys, all my shit is in the description below. If you want to contact me on Facebook, it's all there. If you want to catch me on Twitter, it's there. I don't use...
You gotta update your Twitter at the bottom of your description. You still have Mordecai Fallen.
Really? Son of a bitch.
Yep. It's alright, you know? You changed it. Think you just gotta change it there.
Yeah, it's Pillar to Post 77 now.
Yep. But in all honesty, Pete,
there we go.
I give the overall score of the pay-per-view like maybe 3 stars. It's gonna be between 2.5 and 3.
Yes, in a 5-star rating, it was definitely the tops. I would give it is a 3.
Well, I'm saying like it's better than Payback though.
It was better than Payback. Yeah. Now, what do you think is going to happen on the Fallout show for SmackDown? You think we're going to see this feud between Orton and Mahal continue, or are they going to put Randy Orton on the back burner a little bit?
I hope Orton's hurt, like kayfabe, and goes home for a couple months.
That's what we can all wish for, but we probably won't be receiving it.
Honestly, Orton's probably going to get the title right back, or somebody else. He's going to give somebody a shot. Something's going to happen where somebody gets a shot Thursday night, and that's the end of Mahal's fucking title reign.
Yeah. No. It's I don't know. I'm going to be honest. I started falling asleep through the Shinsuke Nakamura match. I am going to be completely honest.
That's why you didn't think it was a great match.
No, I don't know what it was. If it's because it started off slow or what it was. I had a hell of a time. It's maybe just, like I said, it wasn't what I was expecting. Like, I caught most of the match. I only, dozed off for maybe a couple of minutes. But, I just couldn't get into it. I don't know what it was. It just didn't live up to my expectations as a debut match for what they're titling him as the, the artist. Like, that kills it for me right there. He is the king of strong style. Lay off the fucking...
I don't know if you've watched on, if you've seen on Twitter, Prince Iakea from WCW.
Yeah.
He played, remember when Russo came in, he played as the artist formerly known as Prince Iakea.
Yes. So,
he said some stuff about gimmick infringement, but not much you can really do about that. It's... WWE owns that gimmick too. So.
Well, to anyone that's watching, I want to say hi to everyone, and thank you for tuning in. Now we've got 8 minutes to go to kill an hour, and I'd like to actually do an hour because I'm just trying to go as long as I can, so that way I know the stream's going to be fine. Stream health looks fucking fantastic, and basically what I had to do is sit here almost all morning and go through different, watch different people's videos on how to set up OBS to the right settings for a computer that doesn't have a big graphics card. And
I gotcha.
Now the next test is actually doing it with, video to video, me and you on here, and see how it does then.
Yeah, we should probably do a private stream.
Yeah.
Some point.
Yeah.
Tomorrow, I think Raw is going to be decent. I'm excited for Raw for once.
I'm hoping for it. I'm tired of a 1-hour show like NXT, which they consider the feeder brand, outdoing what they do on the main what they're doing on the main brands. It pisses me off because that 1-hour show gives you so much more than what we get in 3 hours of Raw and 2 hours of SmackDown, and that's fucking sad.
It really is, but at the same time, you gotta understand that Vince doesn't really have his hand in NXT all that much.
Exactly. It's basically... it's Triple H's brainchild. He's running it the way he thinks it should be run, and if they looked at it and they took pointers to see, if they took a little bit of what they're doing on NXT and applied it to Monday Night Raw and SmackDown, it would be a hell of a lot better. Scrooge McDuck. Let me see. I can't see your message all the way here. I want to see Bret Hart do something.
Yeah, it's not gonna happen.
No, Bret Hart, he's
never
done.
Gonna happen.
He's done.
Yeah.
When it comes
to that Goldberg at Starrcade '99, I think, or was it 2000 or '99? I don't know. I know it was Starrcade. He had the concussion, and then after that, he had a stroke shortly after that.
Yeah.
So he's done wrestling. If he has another match, it's gonna be like the Hogan versus Sting match at Bound for Glory 2010, where it was Hogan punched, and then Sting laid him out, and that'll be it.
Also, I'm going to be doing a video tomorrow, and it's not wrestling related, so some of you might be put off a little bit, but I make my own alcohol. I make a lot of my own alcohol. Wine, this summer I'm going to be having my own little hobby still, and I'm going to be doing my very own apple pie wine taste test tomorrow, as well as a cranberry raspberry wine that I concocted.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
I've never had apple pie wine. I've only had apple pie moonshine before.
Well, see, that is what I'm doing this summer. I'm making some apple pie moonshine, and so I'll be doing videos on that as well this summer. And expect to see a lot more videos coming your way. Like I'm still going to be doing Monday to Wednesday the WWE coverage, and then news related on the other days. But I'm also planning on bringing you a lot more videos about the Polara project, which is a 1968 Dodge Polara that me and my son are customizing. It looks pretty bad right now, but we put a lot of work into it, and it's just going to get better and better as we progress. You're going to see some more videos about my book and my upcoming book that's coming out soon. So if you're into fantasy fiction at all, make sure you go to Amazon.com. Check out Dragon's Kin by Pete Wall. All you have to do is go to Amazon.com.ca or wherever the fuck you live. Go to their search bar in there and hit books, and then just write out, just search for Dragon's Kin by Pete Wall, and you'll see my very first novel in there. And that was published late last year. I'm always going to promote it any way I can, so if you're into it, make sure you check it out.
Yep. I mean, in all honesty, I'm going to have to pick up a copy in the coming weeks, probably.
I have not had one bad review. Not one bad review. But my problem is I can't get anyone to post those reviews on Amazon. They don't want to post it on Amazon. They post it on my Facebook page and my Facebook group. But nothing ever gets posted to the Amazon review board. So that doesn't help me at all. But it does make me feel good, especially when they compare me to Anne McCaffrey. If you don't know who that is, she wrote the Dragon Riders of Pern series. Also, there's one who basically said I was a lot like Richard R. Feist. If you're into fantasy fiction or sci-fi, I should say, that's kind of the way I write. So Terry Goodkin was another one that was brought up that I kind of write like. Good compliments. So check it out if you want a good read.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but
I'm going to check it out soon. I noticed there is a lot of hype going on about Adam Cole coming to NXT, and I'm really excited about that.
And that's where he wants to start. I like that. He wants to start in NXT. He doesn't want to just be brought up to the main roster and pushed like that. He wants to start off in NXT. And I think NXT is the perfect place to start, because if you look at what they're doing there, it is the best place for these independent guys to start off, because they get used to the production and the TV way of wrestling that WWE does. Scrooge McDuck, would you say Bret is a real Canadian's Canadian? Back in the day, I would say yes. Now, though, he resides, I believe, most of the time in Hawaii. With his wife, and I don't know. I wouldn't say he's a Canadian's Canadian. I'm a Canadian. I'm not even really a Canadian's Canadian, because I hate the way the politics are played out. they're just as bad as the U.S. And the way of living out here, the cost of living is so freaking high. And if you've ever tuned into my show, you know about my disabilities. And if you don't, I was hit by a drunk driver while I was walking home back in 98. Took out my left side. My left side's totally fucked. I'm never allowed to work again. I fought that. I tried going back to work many times. Screwed my health up even more. And so they put me on a disability, and basically they just give you enough to get by from month to month. And if you try and make any extra money like I do with selling t-shirts and that, they take every extra cent you make. You are not allowed to earn more than what they decide you are living at. And that basically is below poverty level. That is the way they handle their disabled out here. So, I'm not...
It's really strange. You know, I thought you guys had a better system for things like that.
Oh, no.
Here, you get 80% of whatever your income was at the time of your injury.
No, on top of that, they, when I was suing the guy for hitting me, they went and put it as a no-fault accident. So it wasn't the guy's fault that he was drunk. It wasn't his fault that he hit me. It wasn't his fault that he took out 2 telephone poles after he hit me, and the third one finally stopped him and dumped him in a bush. You know, it wasn't his fault that I spent a year in a wheelchair or that I went flying for 70 feet. You know, it wasn't his fault. It wasn't my fault either. That's the way they build it.
That's the dumbest shit I've ever heard in my life.
That is the way they build it. I got screwed big time. And now, you know, I do what I can. You know, this is why I do the podcast. I'm trying to build this podcast into something meaningful. Eventually, and I'm in talks right now with the guy that runs independent wrestling promotions out here in my area. I might be able to do some guest commentary work at their independent shows. So that is a big thing for me. And, you know, just I want to branch out a little bit. And that's why I'm trying to get better doing this podcast. I'm trying to, you know, make the scenery in the background a little bit better. That's why I'm moving it into the basement. And,
oh, man.
Yeah. No more welcome to the laundry room.
There's so much, you know, you got those bottles lined up all nicely.
Oh, yeah, you know, my wife's all nice about it. Same with my kids. They line them all up nicely, you know.
Is this because your wife couldn't get the ice cream the other night? I think that's what it is. Your wife's like, you need to get the hell out of there. I need my ice cream.
Yeah, basically.
What are you going to do about your hard line?
Oh, I got that wired right down in the basement.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. So, I've got, what I did was I go to a lumber yard and they got all these used pallets. So I'm ripping those all apart and using those for the wall behind me. So it's not just ugly brick wall behind me. And,
brick wall though, that's more like you though, because, you know, wall.
Yeah, well, you can use my last name like that, I guess. But, you know, it's,
If it were me and I had a brick wall behind me, I'd just buy some spray paint and spray paint Pete on it.
Well, it's not my place though, okay? So I can't do that kind of stuff. So what I'm doing is I'm setting up a little corner area studio where I can put up some nice wooden walls, give them a nice stain, give it a nice color, you know, and then a wooden floor so it doesn't aggravate my, like the cement doesn't aggravate the nerve damage in my legs. And so it's comfortable, you know, and it looks good. And if you're running a podcast and you want people to tune in better, you're supposed to be able to set up your area so it's more welcoming to people to actually watch. And seeing a bunch of laundry bottles back there just reminds everyone, fuck, I gotta do laundry yet.
Yeah, somebody said something to me about that one time. About they love to see whatever you have in the back behind you.
You know,
it's always changing.
It does, you know, every now and then there's a big laundry hamper behind me, and, you know, and most of the time I'll end up opening the show with, welcome to the laundry room. This is Pillar to Post. I am your host, Pete Wall. Suck my dick, make me fucking happy, you know. No, we don't go that far. We're not that discouraging to people. But I'm just trying to have a little bit of fun tonight.
The way you said that cracks me up, Pete. Yeah, so we're at an hour and 8 minutes, or 6 minutes now. So
yeah.
like it is going good.
The stream, I'm impressed. I really am. I really thought I'd have to go back into the settings and work with it, but I'm a happy fucking camper.
Hey?
But we'll call this a night. How's that sound? We've been...
yeah, that sounds good.
We've been...
I think it's, overall Backlash was about what I thought it would be.
Yeah, it was, it was like an average pay-per-view that we've been getting lately. There were some high spots, there were some low spots, there was some areas that could have been done a hell of a lot better. But all in all, it wasn't a bad show. So I'm going to give it an average grade, like I said, 3 out of 5 stars. That's about all I can do.
Yep.
So, thank you all for joining me. Thank you, Scrooge McDuck, and anyone else that's in the that's viewing right now. It was a great night. Thank you for joining me on this live stream adventure to make sure that this stream is actually going to hold up to par. That it did. So, you sat through, the last 15 minutes of just me prattling on about bullshit? I appreciate it.
Well, it wasn't all bullshit.
No.
We talked about some NXT where we're happy.
Yeah.
What's going to happen next.
Also, do me a favor. Share my videos out. Get more people to connect with the Pillar to Post channel. And always help my boy out here, Heavyweight Mark, on his channel. Because every Thursday, and there's going to be some shows during the week that we do together. And to me, it's only respectful if you enjoy my show and he's on it. Give him a shout out and subscribe to him as well. Thank you very much for your time. This has been Pillar to Post. I, like always, will be your host. And we will see you tomorrow around noon. Have a good night, everyone.